Hello everybody, and welcome back to my 100% walkthrough by Level Up Pup Gaming for Elden Ring. In the last episode, we met a couple of NPCs, we cleared out Fort Height for Kenneth, and yeah, we're here at this lake now. We're going to do some stuff around the lake, but we're not going to go into the lake because there is a boss that will spawn if we go too deep into the lake, and we are not ready to fight them yet. One thing that I wanted to go over with the Ashes of War that I didn't go over in the last episode is that there are different types. As you can see here, this is a holy one, and you can see the little symbol right down here in the corner is kind of like a yellow holy symbol, and then this is a blood one. You can see it's even right here too. So these ones you can only have the blood attribute. So if I put this onto a weapon, the only attribute that it's going to let me select is blood loss, and the only attribute this one will let me select is holy. But later on in the game we will get whetstones, just like the whetstone that we got that lets us apply these Ashes of War. We will get different types of whetstones that will allow us to turn any Ash of War that isn't already typed as a certain type of Ash of War. So like any of these ones are open to be set to whatever. So eventually we will have frost, bleed, fire, lightning, poison, all sorts of different options a little bit later in the game. So about halfway through we're going to get ice and cold, and that's going to help out a lot so that when we change Ash of War. So the reason I wanted to mention that is because we're about to go get this ball right here, which is Unsheath. And Unsheath is only usable on katanas. And the weird thing about it is that katanas already come with Unsheath. So you might be wondering, why would you want to put Unsheath on a katana that already has Unsheath? And that's the reason why, is because when we get those wet blades later in the game that will allow us to put on different affinity types, you can put Unsheath onto your katana, and then you can change the affinity type. So that's kind of the point of having, you know, the same Ash of War, or the same skill, and putting it onto a weapon that already has it. One other thing now that I can show you, that I could not show you before, is I am at a heavy load, because I am above, I believe it's 60% of my total equip load, due to all the weight coming from my talisman, my armor, and all of the weapons and shields that I have. Your arrows don't have any weight. So arrows and items have no weight, but everything in these squares does. And that adds up to your equip load. Now that I'm at a heavy load, let me show you what a roll looks like. So you still have iframes, but they are significantly decreased. And your distance is significantly decreased, and the speed is significantly decreased. And so if I take a few things off, and now I'm at a medium load, now I'm back to something that's at least a little bit more manageable in a fight. And then if I want to go lighter, now I'm at a light load. And that's the farthest, and you can go with the roll, and has the most iframes, your invincibility frames, to keep you from taking damage. Alright, let's put some stuff back on. I did like the way this looked, even though it's not as good as armor as the chainmail. I just like the way it looks, so I'm going to put that on for now. Let's see, case and try. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, so I'm going to die right now because of this skeleton right here. It's right above the point of my sword. So I'm going to head up there after we get done taking out this camp, and I'm most likely going to die from what is going to happen when we fight that skeleton. This is a trick that's in the game. It's part of the story. I'll tell you a little bit about the lore in a second. There's a reason that this happens, but you have to be wary of any enemy because this can happen, and it's yeah, it's pretty cold-hearted for the developers to do. So I just want to make sure that I have this with bleed on it. Is there anything else that I can use? No, don't have another sword, so okay, that's my best bet. It's just to use that and a shield. So, all right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna come over here. We're going to aggro this crab away from the other crabs so that we don't get logged onto them. So let's go ahead and throw a thingy at him. Get him to come on over. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. If you get grabbed, you need to start mashing all the buttons that you can, because it will actually cut down on the time of the damage that you're going to take. So you will take damage for a certain amount of time. I'm not sure why I didn't complete the move there. There we go. So when they grab you, if you press nothing and you just wait, they will most likely take all your health, if not like 70 to 80% of it. But if you start mashing buttons on your D-pad and start hitting light attack and heavy attack and things like that, you will break out of it quicker. It is not very noticeable. Like sometimes you're still going to take a lot of damage like I just did there, but it will break you out quicker. So it's something that actually does happen in the game. So come towards this ball, but don't try and let it know you're here, because it'll start running away. But then 3 crabs are going to pop up, and we got to try and fight them one at a time. Just kind of walk towards it. There it is. Okay. My apologies, just 2 crabs, but still trying to get them away from each other so you're not fighting both of them at the same time. Oh, I don't know why this isn't... My apologies, I don't know what's going on with the Ash of War. It's not... Oh, I'm gonna die. Wow, I have no idea why I'm not hitting him. This is really weird. There. I think I might switch back to the Stampward Uppercut, because this sweep is not doing the stagger damage that I want. I want to stagger these big guys. I don't want to try and drain them of their health, because that just takes too long, and there's too many chances of me getting smashed, as you just saw there. So let's go and try and aggro this crab here. Be careful, there's a Caden warrior riding on a horse around here, so we don't want to run into him either while we're fighting this crab. So just check for him. I know he's around here somewhere. Okay, let's throw a pokey at the crab, get him to come over here. So run all the way over here, because we really don't want to run into that kid. I see there's the Caden warrior on the horse, so get the crab to come over here so we don't have to fight both of them at the same time. Okay, he turned around. Ooh, man. Just keep mashing buttons, and then it'll let you go sooner. Hopefully I can get away and heal. It's like, good lord. Oop. Man, these guys are annoying. Where is he? Where'd he go? Yeah, I can't stand those dragonflies, man. They are so annoying. Alright, but now we've cleared out all the danger, we can go ahead and go sneak up and take out this. Take out the shiny, which probably was more trouble than it's worth, but it's alright. Let's go ahead and do a stamp sweep. There we go. Haha, gotcha. That's what you get. Alright. So now we got Unsheath. For anybody that started as the Samurai class, you can now change the Ash of War so you can change the affinity if you want it to scale with heavy, or sooner or later we're going to be able to add different status ailments and stuff like that to it. So just go ahead and get that out of the way. Let's see if we can get any crab eggs. Looks like we're not getting any. And before we do anything else, I'm actually going to go change the Ash of War to the upward cut, because that was doing better stagger damage. The sweep is good for taking out lots of enemies at once, but if you're trying to stagger something big, the uppercut seems to do more damage. Or more stagger damage, I should say. Okay, change this real quick. And then we're going to go take out the camp right above these cliffs over here. So, and let's go with the... Oh, that's right. So, in order to get back to the upward cut, I just undo enhancement and it takes it back to the original Ash of War that I had. So we don't actually have the Ash of War stamp upward cut yet. I'm going to fight these Caden warriors because I'm still trying to get their armor. Let me go. That little, what just hit me right there was actually his shoulder. He bumps into you with his shoulder to stagger you, so we can follow up with a pretty big attack, so be careful of that. I'm going to go try this Caden warrior, see if he'll be more cooperative. Drop his armor. Oh, whoa. And that always happens from time to time. It's pretty annoying. Lock on to enemies you're not trying to fight. It just happens. That's also another reason that you don't want the auto lock option on, because it'll just start locking onto enemies as soon as they come into view. So you don't want that. That'll drive you nuts. Okay, so this was just like the Fort Height, where if we run up through the middle, we're not only going to aggro the entire camp, and there's a guy with a horn in there, but we will... Oops, put my sword away on accident. Oh, and now I got to, because I put my sword away while I was on Torrent, it is now only in one hand. Even though you only hold it in one hand when you're on Torrent, when you put your sword away on accident, so here I am on Torrent, if I hit that to go to my left-hand weapon, but since nothing's in my left hand, it puts it away. So when I pull it back out, it's still only in one hand. So now I have to hop off Torrent, two-hand it, so that I can use it, and then hop on Torrent, and even though it's in one hand, it considers it to be two-handed. So just a little tidbit, just in case you get off Torrent and you get back on, you're like, why am I not doing, the damage that I should be doing? It's because you got to hop off and two-handed again. So, like Fort Height, this, as you can see, if you go up the middle there's a lot of guards and stuff. These guys down here have horns, so they'll aggro everybody and they'll come running after you. But up here on these cliffs right here, we can sneak up behind and go up on top. On top of both those ruins are two skeleton wizards, and they have some pretty strong magic, and they shoot it pretty fast, and it does some pretty bad damage. So we want to go run to them and take them out first. And then after we take them out, we'll start taking out the guards one at a time, and then we'll kind of sneak down the middle of that valley to take out the Caden warriors that are patrolling back and forth. And then after we take everything out, we can grab all the goodies in the camp. There's a couple of things for intelligent builds down there, so some spells and stuff like that. So let's go ahead and hop up the back way through these cliffs. Might as well take out these skeletons right here, especially the one with the horn. That's good. Okay, but don't get too close because you will start. They have a very, very long range. The magic users do. They're on top of these ruins, so come up over here. So you can see one right there. So stay on the edge. Oh, apparently you can summon the doggos here. I never really have, so you can if you want to. If you feel like you're getting overwhelmed and can't get it done, but I suggest remaining on Torrent while you take out these two guys. So I'll come up over here, just grabbing any foliage that might be around. Go ahead and take out some birds. Okay, and so back down this way will lead us to a bridge that we're going to come to a little bit later this episode. Hey, his bird didn't take off. Oh, you got lucky. Alright, grab a couple of opinions and come back up on this ledge. And right up here, there'll be some guards. But what we want to do is we want to run up here and take out this guy. And then we're going to start getting shot, most likely, by this guy over here, which is okay. Go ahead and grab this book. I'm pretty sure this is... Oh, never mind. Okay. If he dropped his staff, then I was going to say it's a automatic drop. Go ahead and look at this awesome view. Just because this game is so amazing. Okay, let's carry on. We'll go ahead and start fighting these guards one at a time as we make our way over to the other place. The other ruins. If you come over here, we're going to get our first Starlight Shard of the game. These are very useful, and in all honesty, I have never used them once. That's because I've just recently started doing an intelligence build, so these recover your FP for a certain amount of time. I think it's like 30, 45 seconds. It'll slowly recover your FP, and it helps a lot. So when you're in the middle of like a boss battle, you crack one of those before you go in, you start using spells, and you don't got to worry about replenishing your FP because it's slowly getting replenished. And so it's just a little bit of a pressure taken off of you. But you can't make them. You can only find them, and there's only a certain number of them in the games. So you really want to save them for some of the end game bosses and stuff like that. So apparently these guys don't aggro. Never noticed this before, so you can go ahead and sneak up and just start whacking them one at a time, I guess. We'll go ahead and get this guy out. Nope, he doesn't see us. There you go. There you go, buddy. Oh. Okay, let's go over here. And we're going to take out this second mage, because if we don't, he will be constantly hitting us with spells from a distance, and they do some pretty hefty damage. So to get up here, we actually have to go through the ruins over here. That's right, so we have to make a few more bone darts just so we can pull out some guards without them aggroing the Caden warriors. Pretty much at this point it's okay. We should be able to take them out and funnel them through this place, but we really just want to get up here real quick. Shoot. Oh, there it is. Alright, so fortunately we aggroed him, trying to hit that skeleton. Didn't think we would. That's okay. So we'll just wait. We'll pull out the soldiers one at a time. And then once the skeleton has de-aggroed, okay, just make sure that we're going to run over and we're going to take out this one with the horn. So just make sure you take out the one with the horn, and then we'll come back out of the one with the magic user's range. Just make sure none of those Caden warriors or those soldiers down there saw us. So you don't want the one with the horn. If the one with the horn sees you and blows his horn, then he's going to get the entire camp to come after you. Okay. So we're okay. We can go ahead and run up and take out the magic user now, because the guy with the horn is gone. There we go. And he should drop a staff, but no. Okay. Yeah, sometimes he'll drop a staff, sometimes he doesn't. And so right down there is the skeleton that is most likely going to get me killed. But before I go fight him, let's go ahead and clear out the rest of this camp. So go ahead and take out the skeletons. Just let the soldier come to us. Caden warriors should stay on there. Stay on their little patrol. Oh, good job, dude. None of the skeletons that are left have any horns, so we'll just go up and take them out, and then we'll go ahead and aggro this Caden warrior with the dart. Oh, missed him. Get him to come to us. Ooh, hopefully he dropped his armor. Please drop your armor, sir. No, it's pretty small. Looks like raisins. Yep. Fortunately, the white ball is small. It's usually a small item, so we'll go ahead and sneak up on this Caden warrior, give him a stampward uppercut. Sorry, horsey. Oh. So that was the shoulder bash. Oh. That was weird. Hey, did you drop your armor? That's a big one. Let's see what we got. Oh, we got his curved sword. It's actually a pretty vicious curved sword. That's a great curved sword, I should say. So let's go ahead and open up this, and we get our first great, what's it called? rapier. So rapiers are really long, pokey swords that scale very well with dexterity. Now, I want to show you this right over here. If you try sneaking in to try and run up to this, you just want to be careful of this little chain right here. If you run into it, oh, there it is. It'll ring the bell, and every single person in this camp will be aggroed. So you got to watch out for those. They're usually on the outskirts of camps. So yeah, just be very wary. So we went ahead and cleared that out. Now, if we come up over here to this cliff, you guys can watch me be viciously slaughtered. And I'll come back eventually to take this down, what you're about to see. But at the moment, I'm most likely going to die. But I will give it my best. So where is he? Yes. Should be right up over here somewhere. There you are, good sir. So you see these guys laying around, you know, digging through stuff, and you go up and you whack them. They just fall down and die. And so the game, you know, is kind of getting you comfortable with, you know, abusing these weaker enemies. And then this happens. So we'll take out this one. Take out this one. Take out that one. Okay. Now, most likely going to die. And that's okay. So, first I'm going to do two things. I'm going to showcase this Ash of War on this sword, because I forgot to do that in the last episode. And the second thing I'm going to do is maybe change my talisman to something else. See what else I got. Oh wait, we don't have any talismans, that's right. Okay, so I don't got to worry about that. I was wondering where the charge... Oh, we only got the charge talisman, okay. So that's probably not going to work too well because of what I'm about to fight. Yeah, charge attack power is not going to help, but I do need some stamina, so... We'll take that. Let's see how much... We got one flask. You know what? I'm going to go sit down at the Grace and then come back up here. I'll just take out... I just now realize that you can just walk up here from the road, so... I'll go ahead and do that. Spend the runes that we got for taking out the camp real quick. I think we got enough for a level up. Oh, so close. So let's go ahead and crack a couple runes. So what do we need? Sure. I think it was 3,800. Something like that. Okay, yep, we're good. Alright, so got this at 20. Was it 15? 15. I think I did dexterity. I should have checked last episode which one I was at. Which one I needed to level up next. I think yeah, I'm back up at Vigor. That's right, okay. So now we're working our Vigor up into 40. But we're doing it slower this time, so I'm doing Vigor, and the next level up is Mind, Endurance, and then 1 to Strength, and so forth. But then once we get up to about level 30, I will start doubling the amount that I put into Vigor so that we can get to 40 a little bit quicker. But in the meantime, right now, we're tracking along really good, having this kind of Endurance and Strength and stuff like that. I'm going to bring up our Dexterity and Faith slowly so that we can utilize some cool weapons and spells and stuff like that. So, oops, didn't mean to hit you. Okay, now you guys get to watch me die. And I should probably take out the Cave Warrior first. If he's going to be coming back and forth, he's going to see us, yeah, for sure. So let me take out this Cave Warrior real quick. He will come back this way, and then he will see us. Don't blow that horn. Would you stay still? haven't got my armor. Ow. See, they just hold their torch out and it'll lock Torrent in place, and Torrent just gets these tiny little pokes that build up huge stagger damage for Torrent, and then eventually Torrent will just disappear. So stay, kind of stay on the back side of these skeletons with the torches, because they just hold them out, and then you just, yeah, get knocked off Torrent, and it locks you in place. So they're cheeky with their torches. Let's go ahead and take out these guys, and now I'm going to show you what happens with this skeleton up here, and why you see a few blood stains and stuff like that around. So I'm very nervous right now. This is not fun. Not a fun fight. Let's make some bombs real quick, and here we go. Shoot. Oh, dang it. I don't think I'm gonna be able to bleed him like I thought I was. Oh, shoot. Dang it. Got it. Oh, shoot. Oh, no, no, no. Come on, bleed. Oh, no. Oh, dang, I thought I got him. Oh, so close. So, that is a Rune Bear, ladies and gentlemen. And that was so close, so close. Dang. Just couldn't get enough bleed off. Got 2 off, but... And now the skeleton is back, so we have to go take out the skeleton again, and, I'll give it one more shot. One more shot. That's pretty close. Man, I should have thrown a... Ooh, you know what? We're gonna make some sleep pots, see if we can sleep the bear. Okay, that might help. Let's give it another shot. Just one more, because I'm stubborn. Get these guys out of the way so we don't accidentally lock onto them. Oops. I messed up. Here, let's do this. Let's come back over here. Oh, he's just gonna kill me. Let's just come this way towards the grace. And sit back down. Woohoo, we got lucky. Alright, so, I forgot to, take out this Caden Warrior. And that's why I wanted to take him out, because you saw he just ran back there, and if we fall into the road, we don't want him getting mixed into the battle, so go ahead and take him out real quick. Armor? Nah, trousers. Close enough. Close but no scar. Okay. So I forgot to drink my flask, and I forgot to equip my sleep pots before that fight, so that's the reason that I went back to the side of grace real quick. So, alright, I'll give this one more try. I'll showcase what sleep pots do. Ooh, I should put on these kookaries too. Might throw a kookarie just at a case of emergency. So, alright, let's drink our flask. Oh no. Pick me up. But he's sleeping though. Yep. Is he sleeping? Yep, there he goes. Okay. So he's asleep. We'll go ahead and get as many hits off as we can. I don't know what I locked onto, but something up on the cliff caught my attention and made me lock onto it instead. See if that sleeps him. Yep, it slept him. See how I'm locking onto the skeletons by accident? Oh, did he wake up? Nope. We're not going to reach him in time to repost him, but hopefully we can get a bleed off maybe. Or maybe we will repost him. Okay, so we get a repost. That helps. Dang it. There's a bleed. Dang. Shoot, I'm out of health. That's not good. Please bleed. Shoot. My gosh. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is a Rune Bear. And for that, we get a Larval Tear. Whew, man. Alright. So sorry about that. That was way more trouble than it's worth. I do not recommend you fight it, because I do not recommend you rebirth in this game, which is what we need Larval Tears for. But I just wanted to showcase the Rune Bears so that you know what they are and that we're going to have to fight them eventually. And there's a reason that that skeleton, see how he's gone now? So there's a reason that skeleton turned into a different creature, and it has to do with the Larval Tears. And we'll get into that a little bit later in the lore. Once we get a few more items and we meet a few more people that will explain what Larval Tears do and why these things rebirth into new creatures. So these guys are the ones that can knife you right off torrent. They'll, just like the flames, it'll lock you in place. And yeah, it's very, very annoying. So try and keep your distance from these little tiny soldier dudes with the knives, because they swing really fast and it'll lock you in place and knock you directly off torrent. You saw it in the last episode. So be wary of their knives. They are quick. But now we're going to come up here and fight a boss. So we just cleared out that camp. Don't worry about that skeleton. I mean, if you want the challenge, feel free to go ahead and fight the Rune Bear, but as you saw from me struggling severely, it is not an easy fight whatsoever. I think the key really is to roll to their side. As you can tell, I was rotating around him and rolling behind him. If you try and roll away, he will catch you. So don't even think about rolling away from a Rune Bear. It will not work. You have to roll into them and to their sides. Now, this is called an Evergaol. And it literally is what it sounds like. It's a jail. It's a prison. Now, for these, you cannot summon. You cannot summon for any Evergaol. You can't summon for co-op with your friends, and you cannot... I don't know what that noise was. You cannot summon your friends, and you cannot summon spirit ashes. So you're totally on your own when you come into these Evergaols. Now, the boss that we're going to fight in here, I'm actually going to... Do I got any other weapons? No, just the stat, just the stick. So yeah, I guess the best thing I could do is use this sword still. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of the big weapon. And I'm going to show you how to fight this guy one-on-one for a little bit. I'm more not trying to defeat him, but I'm just trying to show you how he moves around and how to dodge his moveset, because he moves very weird. And it's going to flip the camera around and do stuff that to this point in the game you haven't seen yet. So it's going to feel very awkward. He does something called Bloodhound step, which is where he will literally just kind of teleport. He will... He's on all fours like a dog, and he will brace himself like he's getting ready to attack. You'll literally see it. He's holding a sword, then all of a sudden he'll dig his claws into the ground to get ready, and then he will disappear and fly towards you, and you'll swing his sword a couple of times. Now, he is very parryable, but since we haven't learned how to parry yet, and I'm not going to show you how to parry him, don't worry about that. What I want you to do is block and counter. So remember the strong attack. As soon as you block, you hit the strong attack, and it'll make that ting sound, and you'll do a counter attack. That's what we're going to try and focus on. You're going to want your shield out for this fight, and you're going to want to be holding block, because he rolls and moves towards you very fast. You can't throw projectiles at him. If you're using spells, his openings for spells are the same as his openings for attacking him. You just have to wait until he slams his sword in the ground. Now I'm going to show you how to fight him a little bit, and then I'm going to let him take me down, and then we're going to come back, and I'm going to show you how you're most likely going to beat him. Because as you can see, once we come into this Evergaol, you see that little yellow sign right there? That's for us. Even though you can't summon in Evergaols, there is a sign right there for us to summon. But we're not going to do that. We're going to just go ahead and fight him fair and square real quick, just to show you what you're in store for. So this is Blood Hound Knight Darriwil. This is the guy that Blaidd said is in need of a proper end. He's got a claw, and the claw can actually, I think, go behind the shield. So... if I remember correctly, some claws in the game, so go ahead and dodge that. Turn. See how he jumps around, flips around, so he has very weird attack patterns. Just go ahead and keep doing that. You can't repost him for some reason. He doesn't have a repost opening, he just staggers, and then you can hit him a couple times. But there's the Bloodhound step, and then he'll attack. And sometimes you might want to wait, because he might do a follow-up attack, like that, and then do the counter. Oop. And unfortunately, I forgot about that. Blood loss goes through shields. So you saw I just took a bunch of damage there because I bled. It's because his sword has blood loss. So even though I'm blocking it, it is going to build up on the shield. So you might want to dodge for a little bit to let your blood loss meter go down. And then just wait for him to attack. Maybe dodge it. And then... oop, dodge that one. Give him a return. Dodge. Just keep your shield up, and you can still dodge around and block. And so just kind of move around him. Oh, see, block that. Go ahead and back off so I can let my bleed meter go down. Because if it goes all the way up and it reaches full capacity, I will bleed and take the blood loss, which will do a bunch of damage. Oh, missed it. So. And so you just kind of always want to be at a distance like that. And he will attack. Return. Return. There you go. And so when he's slamming his sword down, those are his most open moments to attack. You can only get 1 or 2 swipes in, and then he's going to take off. He's very agile, and he can dodge you very well, very well. And this is what happens if you try and hit him with a projectile. He just moves to the side, and he'll usually miss. So I'm going to go ahead and let him take me down now so I can show you guys how I want you to take him out. And there's the blood loss. And the cool thing about the Evergaol fights is your runes will appear. Usually there's a Stake America next to them, so just click on Stake America, even though this gray site was really close to this one. But it's really cool because your runes will always just be right there on top of the Evergaol where you died. Just come on over here and grab them. And remember, if you die before you grab them, then the next time you go to grab them, it'll be 0 runes and it'll have disappeared. So now I'm going to go ahead and show you how you guys are going to get through this fight. And that's not me commenting on your skill. For all I know, you guys are going to take on the challenge and do what I just did and fight him with sword and shield. But if you're struggling and you can't get it done, don't get discouraged. Come over here. And there's Blaidd. Just touch the gold summon sign. Blaidd the half-wolf. Summon him. Now he's going to summon up. And now we get a buddy in combat. Let's go ahead and take our flask. Let's make a firebomb.
Darriwil, rotting in a cell is no true justice. No. This is where it ends for you.
Let's go get him, Blaidd. He's right here. Now we got some help. Staggered him. Bled him already. He's already down to half health. Ooh, staggered him again. Throw a firebomb at him. Look at that. Rest in peace. I'll give him a bow. Even though Blaidd doesn't like him. That was pretty unfair beatdown. So, go ahead and summon up Blaidd and he will help you get through that fight. And now we have the infamous Bloodhound's Fang Sword, which is one of the strongest swords in the entire game. And then go on up over here and let's talk to Blaidd.
Right. There you are. Had to work for it, but it's done. Don't say I'm not a man of my word. Here's your prize. Oh yes. I should say, if you venture north to Rea Lucaria and come across a venerable blacksmith who's a little on the large side, tell him I sent you, and he'll be sure to treat you right. I owe you one, I reckon. That's enough chit-chat for now. It's time we parted ways. That's enough chit-chat for this time we part.
Look at him. He's like, what are you doing? See you later, Blaidd. Alright. Everybody say bye to Blaidd. Thank him for his help. Okie dokie. So, unfortunately, I can't showcase the Bloodhound's Fang yet. I gotta get up to 17 dexterity and 18 strength, I think. Or 18 dexterity. Let's see. Yeah. So, unfortunately, I do not have the dexterity to wield this yet. I have 6 levels to go in dexterity. So, this is the reason that I'm bringing my dexterity up to 20, even though I'm going to be getting up to 60 strength. Or that's where I'm headed. Right now, in the beginning of the game, we're not going to get anywhere near 60 strength, but I'm going to be focusing all of my damage into strength. But I'm still bringing it up to 20 so that I can use weapons like this. If I just leave my dexterity at base 10, just because I'm going into strength, then weapons like these are unavailable. And this is just an absolute, just a maniac of a weapon. This weapon art does so much damage. It has blood loss. You can coat the weapon with armament grease, which you usually can't do with the weapon that has its own skill on it. So this weapon for the quality build, anybody that picked the Vagabond or the Samurai, you're going to be able to use this. If you've been leveling up your strength and dexterity evenly, you're most likely already at 18 and 17 are going to be able to use this until I can showcase the actual skill set, because I can't do it when you don't have the attributes required to wield it. So I can't show you the Bloodhound's finesse. But when I can, I'm going to, because it's one of the most powerful weapons in the game. So if you can use this, go ahead and use it. Start figuring out the skill set. You just use the skill, it'll do a swipe, and then you'll jump backwards, and then if you hit the strong attack after the swipe, you will Bloodhound step forward and do one more swipe. And it is just a 2-hit combo that does absolute absurd damage. So that's a good weapon for any beginner to start to get through the game with. It's going to help you out a bunch. So I'm going to stick with the sword and two-hand it. And we're going to jump down these cliffs now, and we're going to wrap around here and go through these woods and take out a bunch of demi-humans, pick up some goodies. And we're going to make our way down onto this beach, and we're going to fight an Onyx Lord, I believe they're called. And then after we're done with the beach, we'll come up here. We're going to come through this little camp right here, grab any goodies. There should be an NPC here, but we're not going to talk to him yet. And then we're going to go into these ruins, and we're going to get a weapon for dexterity users. So there's Blaidd. And so down there is a bridge leading to the south part of the continent, which is where we will be at the end of the episode. For now, go ahead and come on down here. So I believe there's a bunch of demi-humans in these woods. So nothing too dangerous. I believe there's some foliage and some goodies for us to pick up. And so, also wanted to mention while we're riding around here that a big portion of this game is going to be doing this. Riding around, okay, we got a battle real quick. So we can go ahead and just sit here and watch. These demi-humans are fighting soldiers. So if you want to help out, you know, either or you can, but just be warned that as soon as they're dead, they'll start hitting you, as you just saw right there. So you can't aggro them onto you. And then as soon as they're done fighting whoever they're fighting, they will come to you. So just be warned and be careful about that. They're not on your side just because they're fighting your enemies. So it's better to just walk up when they're distracted and try and take them all out. And then grab all the goodies. Heal. You'll see that sporadically throughout the game, just enemies fighting each other. Happens a lot, actually. So as I was saying, the strategy that I have for this game is slightly based on what I did through my first playthrough. So I'm not going to do exactly what I did in my first playthrough, because my first playthrough, I didn't make it out of Limgrave for about almost 120 hours. And that's about how long it takes to beat the game when you know exactly how to. So, instead, you know, I'm loosely basing it off of what I did my first playthrough. And when I did my first playthrough was just wander around. And I was too scared and too, you know, kind of shell-shocked by how difficult this game was to go complete any caves and continue on with any quest lines. And I kind of feel like that by the time I did get there, I was pretty over-leveled. And it made it really, really, really easy to get past some absolutely really hard bosses like that Rune Bear right there. I didn't fight any of those bosses. As a matter of fact, Darriwil, I didn't even know he existed until I was like almost halfway through the game. I heard about the sword, and I didn't know where to get it because I somehow had missed the Evergaol. So I came back, and when I came back to fight him, I was really, really, really high in level, and it just took a couple of swipes to take him out. It really wasn't a challenge like it was for me, you know, just there when I was trying to show you guys his moveset. So we are going to wander around kind of like I did, but we're doing it with actual purpose this time and not just getting lost and wasting time. We're actually going around, grabbing goodies, and getting runes, leveling up, getting weapons. We're actually doing things that we do need to do and we do need to get done. But it's a little tedious, and it may seem like we're wasting time, like an entire episode just kind of doing side quests and running around picking up graces and stuff like that. But then I promise you that will lead to episodes where we do nothing but get through the game and get things done. So I know this seems a little tedious and a little overwhelming just because of how large this game is, but I promise you we are making progress. Let's come over here and grab this grace. As you can see, we went down to these woods right here and we cleared out what we could for any of the demi-humans that were down there, so we'll go ahead and take that off. I believe we can actually make it further down. Let me see. Try and find where the cliff. But we'll go down that way when we're actually headed towards the South Continent. But I'm trying to find a spirit spring right now. Let's see where it's at. Where are you? It's around here somewhere. Should be a spirit spring that leads down to this beach. Can't remember where it is. Apologies, 1 second. Might be down here. Oh, there it is. See it on the other side. So come up onto this cliff here. I think it might be right over here. So if you're ever wondering if a drop if you can survive a drop or not, let me showcase this right here. We come up to this edge here, and we take a rainbow stone, which we picked up from fighting demi-humans, and we can make more later. And we go ahead and drop one off the cliff. It landed, which means we will survive that fall. If the rainbow stone had broken, that means we would die, and it's too high. So if you're ever wondering, hey, can I jump down here? Go ahead and drop a rainbow stone, and it'll tell you. But now we have a spirit spring, so we can go ahead and hop on Torrent and hop safely down to the ground. And we're safe. And now we're on this beach. And we have an Onyx Lord, which these guys actually are very parryable, so I'm going to go ahead and try and parry him, just to showcase some more parries, but I do not expect you to parry him. You might be better off doing some more guard counters and guarding. But he has some gravitational spells that will pull you inwards to him, and then he has some pretty slow swipes, so sometimes it's easier to parry him, but we haven't gone over it yet, so go ahead and just do guard counters. Nope, can't parry that. Thought you could. Nope, can't parry that. There's parry. And so you see how close I am standing to him. I'm going to keep parrying him. You see how close I am to him? You see, he brought his hand down, and I timed it so that it would connect with his hand. I'm not paying attention to his sword. I'm staying inside on his sword, and I'm paying attention to when his hand comes down. And then I'm parrying right as he brings his sword down. And parry. And that's how you parry. And it's going to take practice. You got to understand that those parry timings, I've practiced them. I've parried a few of these guys before. And it took a while for me to understand kind of the flow and rhythm of what parrying is. But I'm going to keep showcasing it to you because there's going to be a boss coming up where I'm not going to show you how to beat him any other way except for parrying. You're going to have to parry this boss coming up that we're going to fight a little bit later in a couple episodes. And I refuse to show you any other strategy. If you want any other strategy to fight this boss, you're going to have to figure it out yourself, because my strategy is to parry him, because I think he is designed for you to learn how to parry on. If you're having trouble with that guy, you saw his swings were pretty slow, so just go ahead and block him with your 100% shield, and then give him counters until he staggers. And then once he staggers, go ahead and give him a repost, and then just whack him a whole bunch as he's standing up, and you should be pretty good. He doesn't have too much health, and he's pretty easy to roll away from his swings and stuff like that. So after you take him down, we come up over here, and we got to get off torrents. What that blue is keeps us from bringing torrent in. And we come into this dark cave, and we'll see a familiar sight. Does that look familiar? So remember in the first episode when we dropped into this cave, that's where we dropped down to the Cave of Knowledge. And then that's the stairs that we took up to the elevator to go up to the first step. This was that item on the cliff that I said we can't get yet. So this is a talisman that I believe gives you holy damage protection. So anybody that has holy spells or holy attacks, this buffs your defense against it. And I believe there's 2 other versions of it. Yep. And so there's a +1 and a +2 that we'll get later in the game. So last thing on this beach should be a crab. Could be an octopus. I can't remember. It's one of the 2. You got a crab or an octopus? Yep, it's a crab. Okay. So let's go ahead and sneak up on him and give him a Stampward uppercut. Ow, ow, ow. Lord. He was not happy about that, was he? Alright. Yeah, the Stampward uppercut does way better against big creatures than the Stampward sweep. But the Stampward sweep is very excellent for when you're fighting like a whole bunch of guards that are grouping up on you, and you just pull that sweep off and just slash right through like 4 or 5 of them at once. Yeah, very good. And so that should be everything that's down on this beach, and we can go ahead and get back up via the Spirit Spring. And so remember, be careful with these Spirit Springs, because if you go in the wrong direction, if I jump through the Spirit Spring headed out towards the water, you will fall in the water and you will die. So when you're doing the Spirit Spring, make sure you're going in the direction that you need to go, which is jumping up there. But I do believe we can take the Spirit Spring onto one of these ledges where there's some wolves. But there's nothing important up there. Let's go get. So instead, we're just going to take the Spirit Spring back on up. And so this is designed to be where the Spirit Spring leads us and we're safe to land here. But if you go into an area where you're not safe to land, such as over here where these wolves are, you might actually take some damage. But I do believe that you can get down to these wolves from up here. But as I said, there's really nothing important down there, so we're going to go ahead and skip that. Oh, no feather. If you come around here, we got some bats. Guarding a rune. They're usually guarding a gold rune. There could be a, I think there's a couple, yeah, I see a couple more hanging. And this is our first painting. The painting that we picked up at that artist shack. So let me go ahead and pull the painting up so you guys can see. Let's take a look at that painting, and then take a look at that. There it is. And so this is the painter that drew it. And after he disappears, we get a prize. So we're going to find some more paintings that will have areas in the game that we have to go and find. So go and take out this poor turtle. I'm so sorry, man. Sorry, dude. Grab that turtleneck meat. We're going to come over here, fight a few more bats, grab some runes, and then we're going to go into the ruins that we were just next to. And we're going to grab an item that's going to be very, very useful for dexterity users. So as you can see, there's nothing important on that ledge where the wolves were. Get this bat to come down. Oh no! Thought I turned myself right off the cliff. Be careful over here, because there is a hole, just a random hole, leading to nothingness right there. So a lot of people will come off that cliff going for the shiny that they see, and they'll fall right down to their death. So be careful of that hole. Go fight these bats. Come on, bat. Got him in midair. Oh, you little punk. Yeah, some enemies in this game are just really aggravating. That's all there is to it. Like these guys. Okay. And so, up here, if we jump up these cliffs, it'll take us right up to the first step, where we fought the tree sentinel. And so, right here, we got these ruins. I'm just going to point out right ahead, there's a little island right past these little ruins right here in front of us, and then there's an island. You need to stay away from that place right now. We will come back to it. We will deal with what's there. But right now, don't go anywhere near it. Stay out of the middle of the lake and instead come to these ruins. You're going to want your shield out for these ruins because there are dogs. Not wolves, dogs. And the dogs in these games are beyond aggravating. They were made to just make you angry. So pull your shield out because of this dog right here. They move like that, and their little pokes will stagger you like you wouldn't believe. If I didn't have my shield out, it would have been actually really annoying to try and take that dog down because he would have just kept poking me out of my attack animations. So make sure I know it seems like I'm making them look easy, but trust me, those dogs are nightmares. And there are parts in the game where they will take you down and you will be very, very angry about it. I promise you. So keep your shield out for these dogs. So you see how this guy has yellow eyes? That means, so let me take this guy out. He gave me 19 runes. This guy with yellow eyes gave me 95. Because anything with yellow eyes will give you more runes. Specifically 5 times the amount. So if an enemy gives you 100 runes upon being defeated, and this one's a big one. So this one's extra vicious, has got more health. And they'll do that. So you think you're okay to counter, and then they'll do another poke. So Blaidd is really good against them. As I was saying, if an enemy gives you 100 runes, and you see an enemy and it has golden eyes, it'll give you 500 runes instead. So seeing golden eyes in an enemy is always good. So we're just coming through, whacking down all the dogs we see and grabbing all the goodies. And then come down here. There's a bunch of rats. So let's go ahead and actually pull out our bone darts so we can just pull them in one at a time. Come on. So we don't want to get grouped up. Like this. This is not what you want. So that's what you want to avoid. You want to funnel them all into here, otherwise they're all going to surround you and all poke you to death. You just cannot, even though they're lowly rats at the beginning of the game, you just absolutely cannot underestimate them, or any enemy whatsoever. You have to strategize and respect them, otherwise they will just poke you to death and take you down and make you feel really embarrassed. This is a trap. Do not touch it. Don't open that chest. It'll take you to a cave in a vicious part of the game that you're not supposed to beat to yet. And a lot of people go there to get early smithing stones and stuff like that. But what we're going to do, we don't need that. And the strategy I have for you guys, we're going to have plenty of stuff ready by the time we get to that area that chest takes you to. So do not worry about it. We should come in here, though, and get ourselves a stone sword key. And we're just making sure we're taking out everything in the runes. There's a dog. Right here, punk. Oh, jeez. I was wondering. I was like, how did he bite me? I was blocking. Let's see, this is bad. See how vicious that is? These guys are... Yeah, so you don't want to even fight more than one of those dogs at a time. That was actually very, very stressful. So try and get them to come out one at a time. You know, if you see one, throw a dart at it, have it come towards you. Because if they group up on you, I mean, that was just two, and it was a struggle. And that's why you need the shield out, the 100% physical block. So that you can block all their little pokes and their bites that they do. Because they do a lot. Okay, so I believe that is all the enemies in the actual ruins. But there's a little secret. So we had a staircase, and in every single ruins there's always going to be a staircase, just an item, like this. Sometimes they're covered by secret walls that you have to hit to make disappear. Sometimes they're covered just by like crates and stuff like this. Sometimes they're covered with stone sword keys, and you have to unlock them with a stone sword key. And sometimes they're a trick, like this one. So this one will take you to, you know, it'll teleport you. Once you open the chest, a bunch of smoke will come out, and it'll teleport you to a cave in the game. And once you're in that cave, you cannot teleport out. You have to get through the cave by either fighting the boss or by leaving the cave entirely. And it is extremely stressful. But it's a trick, because even though that's the stairs, and you might, as a player, think like, okay, well, there's always a stairs in the ruins. That was the one in this one, so I guess it's just a trick. But then they have these little walls over here, so you can see this wall is complete. Has 4 sides to it. You can't get into it. So all 4 sides are completely blocked off. That's because if you come over to the lowest part and jump, hey, you got another staircase. So there's always secrets inside of ruins, and there's always going to be some kind of awesome treasure. And this is the awesome treasure for this one. And if I had the dexterity to use this, I would use it right now. But I decided to go with strength in the beginning of the game. But for my dexterity users, you are going to love this twin blade. These twin blades are so vicious. And I wish I had the dexterity to use this one, but it's really, really high dexterity. But let me showcase just how fast. I mean, see all the marks on the wall? Those are each, you know, a hit, and it'll build up status effects so quickly. So this is what I use to get through the game, my very first playthrough, and I highly recommend it for any dexterity users. You coat this in magic damage, lightning damage, blood flame, poison. It is an awesome, awesome weapon. It does lots of slash and stuff, lots of slash damage, but it does very little stagger damage. That charged attack, though, yeah, it can wipe out a good group of enemies, and this is not even with a skill on. I can't even use this correctly because I don't have the right attributes, so highly recommend any dexterity users, you switch over to this twin blade, you're going to love it. It is going to help you get through the game. And of course, if you're quality build and you have the dexterity and strength, start using that Bloodhound's Fang. So we got 2 very awesome, awesome weapons to start. And let's go ahead and head out of the ruins. We're going to come over here and take out this Cade Warrior, see if you can drop us some armor. Give me your armor, dude. I want your armor. Give it. Don't run away from me. Give me your armor. Get it. Did you just try and swipe at me? That's so rude. Oh, sorry, horsey. Okay, so up over here, we got another NPC that we're going to meet. But this isn't the area that we want to meet him in. It doesn't ruin the quest or anything like that, but it's just a little out of order. So he might be here. If he is, we're just not going to talk to him. If he isn't, then that means that he actually does start at the other area, which is good. Nope, he's here. Okay, so do not talk to him yet. Go ahead and steal the butterfly that's on his fire. But don't talk to him yet. Don't worry, he's friend. Don't hit him. But we are going to come back to him later. Just know he's there for now. Let's go ahead and pick up some foliage. don't believe there's anything up on these ruins, but let's just double check. Oh, nope, I'm totally wrong. There's something up on these ruins. Hey, slumbering egg. Okay. So we cleared out these woods, cleared out the beach, cleared out these ruins. Go ahead and take that off. Take that off. So the NPC was there, but I'm just going to leave that there for now. We went ahead and helped Blaidd take out his knight that he wasn't happy with, and we cleared out the camp. Okay, and so next we are going to head south. And we're going to go into the south part of this continent, but what we're going to do is we're just picking up graces, and we're just picking up a few items that we can pick up along the way. We're not going out of our way to go into any ruins and fight bosses. We're not going out of our way to fight anything in this south part of the continent yet. There's just a couple of items that are going to help us get through the caves starting out in this game that we need to get. After we do that, we're going to come back up to the gate front, which is right by the ruins that we first cleared out at the start of the game. And we're going to head into the north part of Limgrave. We're going to make our way over to here. This is where we'll fight our second boss. But in between fighting the second boss, we will fight something called an NPC, non-playable character. We'll get invaded right here, and we'll get invaded right here. So these are the next three bosses that I plan on having us fight. But before that, we're just going to do some exploring, do some item gathering, and do some checkpoint. We're just getting some checkpoints plotted along the way so that we have map fragments, we know the areas ahead, we know what we got to do, all that good stuff. So come down over here, we got some more demi-humans. Oh, good lord. So sometimes these guys drop their swords, they're curved swords, which is awesome. Curved swords are just like the twin blades, super duper fast, and they build up status effects very, very quickly. So if you started with the, what's it called? Oh, sorry, having a bit of a brain toot here. Can't tell if I'm being chased by the pig or not. Oh yeah, he's coming to me. He's angry. Sometimes they attack you, sometimes they run away. I don't really know what decides it, but there should be some demi-humans that are going to pop up as a trap here. Yep, see, now he's running away. Not too sure what causes them to run away, and sometimes what causes them to come at you. But as we make our way down here, we're going to come into a trap. A bunch of demi-humans are going to pop up, see? Oh, okay. There should be a few more. Grab this item here. And this is sort of a clue, because you got to kind of pay attention to your surroundings. We're about to cross the bridge onto this south continent. If you see here, this little path takes you down to a cave. So we got a cave over there. If we look directly ahead, it's right there. Fortunately, the boss in that cave is in fact a Rune Bear. Just like I fought earlier. So when we do get to that cave, I'm afraid you're going to have to suffer what I suffered through at the beginning of this episode. Take this poor guy out so he's not missing his friends. Didn't drop us anything though. Wrap up around here. Got some more demi-humans. Wonder what he dropped. Oh, glowstone. They usually just drop small stuff like strings and glowstones and stuff. But sometimes they'll drop their weapon. Like the spiked clubs. Very, very, very good weapon. Has blood loss on it. Does strike damage. But we're about to pick up a hammer that also does blood loss and does more damage than those spiked clubs. But if you happen to get a spiked club, it's a very good weapon. Come up over here. Got some more demi-humans, and we got a very important plant. That red plant right there. Very important. Oh! There's a guy with a spike club. See if he drops it. Hey, can we have your club, dude? Oh, no, I didn't mean have it like that. No, I guess not. Hey, a large club. That's, I believe, a colossal, or is that a great weapon? That's a great hammer, okay. So we got a great hammer. It just does a little bit more damage than this hammer. And it's slower. So it's just like the difference between a sword and the great sword. So a little bit slower, but a little bit more powerful. But pick up this arteria leaf. Very, very important. Come on down here. We should be able to get towards the bridge. Oops, I think I just missed an herba, but it's alright. I think we might have to go to the other side. Can we get down there? I think we're good if we go over here. Yeah, we can get down this way. And then these little steps here, this is the road that would take us into the bridge down there. So go ahead and jump on down. What we're going to do, we're just going to work our way back. I'm just coming over here so I can show you where exactly we are and where we came from. So up there is where we fought Darriwil, and then up there is where I fought the Rune Bear. So this is the road between the two paths. On that path was the camp. On that path was the boss. So we just come down through here, and as soon as we get to a certain point, we're going to get shot at. So we got to kind of weave our way into that bridge. If we try and fight things head on, we're going to keep getting shot at by some ballistas. But if we kind of cover ourselves on the right side, and then as soon as the ballista shoots, whether it hits us or misses us, we run into the bridge and run behind everybody. Then we'll come backwards into the bridge and take everything out. So just kind of stay to the side because they're going to see you and they're going to shoot. Just wait for the shot. There it is. Okay, so they shot, now they're reloading. Go ahead and run in. Run behind everything, just leave all the loots. Run behind everything. Come up over here to this Grace. And touch the Grace immediately, and sit down to get everything to de-aggro and stop chasing you. And sit. And now that we're safely on the other side of that bridge, we're going to work our way backwards and get all the goodies and take out all the guards. Shooting arrows at me, that's what you get. Take out the guy with the spear first. They're a little bit more annoying than the guys with the shields. In case you're wondering how I'm doing these counterattacks, because I'm blocking with the sword. So I'm still taking damage, but blocking with the sword and then getting hit allows you to still do a counter as if you're countering with the shield. Ooh, we got some armor and stuff. Right, and so now we can go back onto the bridge and grab everything. There's nothing up here. This was just the path that comes down from the camp and the cliffs. So we were up here at the beginning of the episode, and I told you, hey, don't worry, we're going to come down this way. So there's nothing up here. Just want to show you real quick. And Maybe get a feather. Yeah, got some feathers. Okay, so there should be I believe, a cookbook and a smithing stone on this bridge. Let's go ahead and grab that stuff, and then we'll head on into the continent. Oh no, I shouldn't say continent, it's just a landmass. But I think it's supposed to be a continent. So here's the smithing stone, and I believe this is a cookbook. Oop, just some butterflies. Don't sleep on these butterflies, they're super important. It's how we make fire pots and stuff, and fire arrows. Oh no, it's Star's Rookie. Okay. Sorry, I've made notes and I've got I've collected all the items in this game and stuff 4 or 5 times, but I still get them mixed up and still get confused every once in a while. So my apologies if I think something is somewhere and somewhere else. It's a big game and I'm trying to do my best. It's just me working on this. Don't got anybody else. All the knowledge that I'm sharing with you, I have figured out myself, or I used some guides that were not spoiler guides. They were not 100% guides. I used a couple of guides that were just kind of like, here's how you get this done, but it didn't tell you about like bosses or anything like that, and they're really helpful. I'm not sure if I should mention which guides, just for the sake of, I don't know, content creation and how this works. I'm new to this, so I'm going to go ahead and not shout out anybody's name or say any channels, but I did use a couple of guides that were on YouTube to help me get through the second parts of the game, because the quests in this are super, super vague, and they do not tell you where you need to go and what you need to do, so it's actually kind of hard to mess things up, which is another reason why we're not going to talk to this NPC yet. We're not going this way to start her quest. We're just coming down here to grab some stuff. So we're not going to start that quest yet. We're just going to walk right by her. But that is an NPC for us to start a quest with. Now down here, there's a lot of dogs. There's a lot of dogs. There's a giant that'll eventually wake up. And then there's some soldiers that are sleeping. And then in front of them are some more demi-humans. Now, in the back of this carriage that's crashed into the ground is an extremely important weapon that I want you to grab. It's a mace that has blood loss on it. And it's a hammer that we're going to be using for parry fights. You don't need to take anything down to get on the back and pick it up. The chest is already open, so all you have to do is hop off Torrent, grab it, and then hop back on. You got to do this fast because these dogs will catch up to you. So go ahead and ride to the side, try and kind of not let this dog see you, but he's going to. Jump up on here, grab the item, jump off, jump on the horse, and run. Just ignore the demi-humans, ignore the ruins. We're going to come back for all this stuff, I promise. You can ignore this ball. It's just a bow and arrow Ash of War that we don't need right now. So just ignore that. And unfortunately, it's nighttime, which means this boss is out. This is another boss that was over by the bridge in Limgrave. Because it's nighttime, there's a Night Rider out. You want to stay away from him. I will teach you guys how to fight him, and we will fight plenty of them, but stay away from that guy right now. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to daytime so that he's gone, because we're not here to fight bosses yet. We're just here to pick up some stuff. I believe we can do a couple level ups. So let's go ahead and put one into mine. Just one level up. Okay. And then next I'll do endurance and strength. I'll do 1 to dexterity, 1 to faith, and then back up to vigor. I'm not going to even touch intelligence or arcane. I'm going to leave those two completely alone. Okie dokie. So there's a merchant right over here.
Buying or selling?
Pretty rude merchant, but he's got some smithing stones and stuff like that that we're going to want to buy, but go ahead and just buy this cracked pot for now. There's a great sword here, so I can buy this one if I want to dual wield great swords, which I eventually will do, but not with this one. There's better ones coming up that we're going to get, so I'm going to go ahead and, for sake of leveling up, because we're so close to another level up, I'm going to not purchase anything else. We already got our parry shield and stuff. This is a pretty cool armor set, though, the scale armor. This is the talisman that we could have started the game with. And this demi-human human mobs, it's just a part of the knowledge scripts that you can buy that give you little hints throughout the game. This one just tells you that if you take out the queen of a demi-human tribe or their largest member, the rest of them will give up and cower away in fear, and I'll show you guys that a little bit later. This talisman raises our max HP, but we get more of a raise in HP from a talisman that we're going to pick up here in a little bit than we would from this one, so absolutely pointless to buy it, but we'll buy it eventually just for 100% sake. But we'll go ahead and... I'm going to keep selling my Erd Leaf Flower, but I'm going to start holding on to my Roa Fruit. I'm going to stop selling the Roa Fruit now because eventually we're going to pick up a cookbook that's going to let us make a very important item that we're going to need lots of Roa Fruit for. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come up over this ledge, and you got to be very careful. So there's the map fragment for this area, but as soon as we get right about here, we're going to start getting shot at. So if you come up behind this, you're going to hear a huge explosion go off. There it is. So after that goes off, run to cover over here. Duck down. You can see the giant all the way down there shooting arrows at us. And then go ahead and run down over here. Now, run over and grab the map fragment. And then come back. You'll be safe back here. Now, unfortunately, we can't open up the map fragment because we're technically in combat because we're getting shot at. Just go ahead and hop up on Torrent. We can't even open the map right now. Just makes a dun 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 sound. Run to the next covering, which is over here by this tree. I should say this golden tree right here. Hop up, grab the gold seed, and then jump down, hide behind this next rock. There's an arteria leaf under it. Grab that. Head over to the next rock. These guys are very similar to the trolls in that we're going to run up to his legs and we're going to give him some stampward uppercuts and charged attacks to get him to fall down and stagger. And then the repost will finish him off. So wait until he shoots his arrow and then run. Just run straight towards him. It takes him a while to pull another arrow out. Hit his jump attack, charge, stagger, unlock from him, jump over his legs, and run to his stomach. That's where the repost is, right there. And look at that. That was vicious. One-shot repost right there. So these guys are super susceptible to a repost. They take like extra damage for some reason. So now that he is gone, he's gone forever. He will not respawn back there, and we don't ever have to worry about him. Wow, hitting him with my shield, that's weird. So now we can go through this area unmolested, no arrows flying in our face. So we'll go ahead and run around the castle here and grab some foliage. Go ahead and take out some of these animals to grab some bones. And then there's a beach down there. We'll go down there and grab some stuff. And there should be a smithing stone guarded by some very angry jellyfish on the other side of the castle that we're going to grab. Cannot for the life of me remember what's down here. Let's go check to see if there's anything important. I think there's just maybe some crabs we gotta fight. Yeah, I think there's a crab. Oh no, dogs. Okay. Stay on Torn for these. Or if you're going to fight them, then pull out the 100% shield because, yeah, these guys are fast and they're overwhelming. I mean, they even got a lot of health for just a start of the game enemy. They're very, very good at dodging you and they're super annoying. So stay on Torrent, I recommend. There we go. If you need a heal up on your flasks, go ahead and crack that ball right there. Nothing over here, so let's go ahead and head on up into the castle to grab the Site of Grace. So we're just grabbing the Graces and then we're coming back later. Gonna grab that without falling? Yes, I can. So this is Castle Morne. We're just going to run in, grab the Grace, and then we're going to come right back out. And so as always, come along the side of the castle. I got interrupted when I was going to say this earlier. So a lot of this is like we're going along the sides of buildings and landscape as far as like the map and the edges. We're going along the edges of the map, and then we're going to work inwards toward the actual castles and dungeons. Ah, I see. So I was wondering why there's a bunch of signs right there. They're pointing towards the boss room over there behind the castle. Go ahead and take out this poor turtle. Until we can buy turtle meat, we have to unfortunately take out every single turtle that we see. Very, very important. But over here, there should be some jellyfish, but this has a little bit of lore behind it, so I want to read this for you real quick. The siege of Castle Morne, a lone hero fights for his vengeance, only to fall at the hand of Lord Godfrey. And down over here, we got some angry jellyfish. So they're red. Don't fight them. I don't know why. The jellyfish don't drop anything useful. They never drop anything, actually, so I never fight them, but we're just going to run by, grab the smithing stone, this item, and then run away before they poison us. Oh, arterial leaf, yeah, that's very important. So, zigzag, because you see right there, they're trying to poison me. They won't chase you, they're very slow. If jellyfish are red, they are aggroed. If jellyfish are white, they are peaceful, and they will not harm you, no matter what. Unless you attack them. If you start attacking them, then the jellyfish will turn red, and they'll start spraying poison at you. So, we'll come back to this poison swamp later, fight the crab in there and stuff like that. We're just going to head on over here. There should be a Grace that we're going to grab, and another Onyx Lord. Go ahead and, oh, okay, so this is a ball that is, we have to hit it with a projectile. So let's go ahead and pull out our bow and arrow. As soon as we hit it, it'll disappear. So hopefully the bow and arrow will take it out in one hit. Let's go ahead and equip your bow. Put it in your left hand, two-hand it, and go ahead and zoom in on it, and then we're going to sneak up into these bushes. Make sure you're locked onto it. And then we're going to use our weapon art to barrage it with arrows. There. Now it can't get away. That's poison mist. So if you try and walk up or sneak up on that and you hit it once, it will then disappear. After it disappears, you have to go and find it. It'll give you 3 chances, I believe, and it'll disappear very close by. And then you have to go find it and then try and take it out, and then it'll disappear again. So the best way to do this is to just use your bow and arrow. There's a couple of big bears here, but there's no rune bears, so don't be scared. Just gonna go around here, grab some foliage as we head to another Grace. Resin is important. I believe the Grace is actually on the other side. That's right, it's up on that cliff. My apologies. What's up here is actually a smithing stone. So let's go grab that. There's a bear over here. Go ahead and take him down. Ow. Now there's going to be an enemy up over here that I don't recommend we fight yet. We're going to grab the smithing stone that he's guarding, but don't fight him. Just grab the smithing stone and run by on Torrent. because he's a little weird. His attack pattern is really slow. I'll show him to you in a couple of episodes, but his attack pattern is so slow that it's meant to just kind of trip you out and cause you to dodge at the wrong time. And he's very, very powerful. That axe right there, that will do some serious damage. Like, probably kill us in one hit. So his swings are super slow, and I'll just go ahead and show you. But don't fight him. See how slow his swing is? So it'll trick you out, and you'll start panic rolling, trying to time it, and then you'll miss it, and it'll hit you. And he has really, really strong range and really, really hard poise. He does not, see? He did not break after I hit him, and I can't get away from him. So do not fight this guy yet. He is very, very annoying. Guess if you do a stampward uppercut, it'll knock him on the butt. But I do not recommend fighting him. He is very, very brutal. Eventually, we do have to fight him as a boss in a couple of areas, but I recommend just grabbing the stone and running by because of that very reason. He's kind of tricky, at least for a new player. Because of his timing and his speed, it'll just, yeah, it'll throw you off, and it's better if you just try and learn how to fight him later. We're going to come up over here, and now we're back over by the bridge where that guy was shooting at us. So go ahead and hop on down. And now there's a spirit spring that we can take up into this actual tower here, and it'll lead us to a chest with a very, very good shield. So go ahead and aim this so that you fly up into that tower, like so. And over here is an awesome shield. So this turtle shield has some stamina left over in it, and because of that, it will give you fast stamina recovery, even while you're two-handing something. So that's actually why I'm going to put it on right now. So unfortunately, the shield doesn't have 100% block, so it only blocks out 87% damage when you block a hit. So you still take some damage, but because of it, you see up in the left-hand corner, there's that little green turtle pickled neck. That's because I have the shield on, so my stamina recovery is going to be faster now, and it still is on even when I'm two-handing my sword and I don't have the shield equipped to my left hand. The effect will still, the buff from the shield will still remain. So you can two-hand the weapon and still use it, and now we have fast stamina recovery without having to use a talisman or anything like that. So very, very awesome shield. Definitely need it. We're going to come through here. There's going to be some wolves to fight, so go ahead and start fighting them. Clear them out because we're going to solve this puzzle for magic users. We're going to come across these little rises in the game. Some of them have puzzles, some of them are just open, or you need gestures, or you need to get to a certain part in the game in order to open them. This one is pretty easy, and I think there's like 8 or 9 of them in the game, and they're how you increase your slots for spells. So go up and touch this. It says seek 3 wise beasts. So these are the wise beasts. You see all of a sudden there's a turtle here. Go ahead and hit him. That's 1. Then up around here, you'll find number 2, but number 2 is invisible. He's right here. Let's go ahead and hit him. It's a little tricky. And then I believe the 3rd one might be up in a tree. Or is it just up here? So that's the tower that we just got the turtle shield from. And then the 3rd turtle should be up around here somewhere. And some old wolves. So the wolves just aren't as strong, and they're not as aggressive as the dogs. The little poodle dogs that we saw at those ruins. Here's the third turtle. So the seal is opened on the rise. So before we go in there, let's go ahead and head up in here to get another... Oh, actually, so we're not going to touch this. Don't touch this Starlight Shard. I'm going to open up our map. We're going to zoom in on it. We're going to make a mark right here. So this little marker right here, I think, is for a quest. So I'm leaving this here for a quest, and then next to it I'm going to leave an item symbol to let us know that, to remind us that there is a Starlight Shard here. And the reason why we're leaving that one is because later in the game we have to, in order to get a person's, an NPC's quest line to progress, we have to pick up a Starlight Shard. And so if you've picked up all the Starlight Shards up to that point in the game, then you'll have to progress further into the game, into harder areas to find a new Starlight Shard, and it can take a while. So it's better if we leave one right now, we just leave it be, and then when we get to that NPC's point in the story where he asks us to go get a shard, we can just teleport right over here, grab this shard, and then continue on with this quest. So go ahead and leave that shard right there. And come on up into Oridy's Rise. Check back here. There's usually no items back here, but I always check just for the sake of completion. I'll climb up this ladder. There's no enemies in these rises. I think there's maybe only like one or two that has an enemy in it. Always check behind you, because sometimes there's an item or a chest on the back of the rise. And then come up these stairs. And we'll get our first memory stone. And this is for the faith and intelligence users, so it doesn't really matter for anybody that's just doing straight combat and melee. Now that we picked up the stone, we have a new slot to learn another spell in. You don't have to equip the stone. The stone just being in our inventory has now given us another spell slot. So instead of 2, we now have 3. And so I think there's about like 8 more of these memory stones in the game, and you have to solve a rise to get into them. So go ahead and come on down here and grab this Site of Grace. And there's an Onyx Lord battle right in here. It's the same as the one that was on the beach. So, but before we fight the Onyx Lord, unfortunately we have to pull out some of these other guys. So these guys will join in on the fight if we don't pull them out. I don't know why he's not moving. Come on, dude. There we go. So as soon as you get close enough, the Onyx Lord will spawn in. Wow, that did some damage. This guy's getting on my nerves. There we go. And so pull the next one out. And this is why we make the bone darts, just so we can aggro enemies to come to us. He's gonna throw this rock at us. Oh shoot. Hit the wrong button. Stop. Okay, so we got a few more. Go ahead and pull them out too. Gotta get a little closer. Oh no. Actually, since he's just standing there, I'm gonna sneak up and repost him. Let's go ahead and grab this guy then. Yeah, he sees us, so let's hit him. Oh, come on. Oh man, aggroed the other guy on accident. Oh well. Okay, so there's one more kind of behind the portal. We really don't want him fighting us while we're trying to fight the Onyx Lord, so go ahead and pull him out too. There we go. He's like, where are these coming from? Nope, there's the Onyx Lord. He's out. He sees us. That's a bummer. Let's try and get the other guy to come over here. Okay. I'm going to showcase some more parrying for you guys. Oh, can't parry that one for some reason. what are you doing? So that's a little gravity ball that would pull me towards him if it actually connected. And so I'm just showing you guys the rhythm of parrying. I know exactly when his hand is going to come down and what the animation looks like because I've done it so many times before. You got to stay close and you just got to get the hand. All right, it's what I'm aiming for. I'm not even looking at the tip of his sword. I'm looking at his hand. I'm paying attention to when he slams that down. Now he... Oh, that's probably going to kill me. Or not. Ow. Okay, that was very rude of you, dude. Whoa. Oh. Ow. Whoa. I don't know what was going on. Oh, I think I threw something. Dang. Oh my goodness. This guy's messing me up. Oh, not health. Woo. Alright. Let me get some distance. Ooh, he's fast. Is he still coming? He's still coming. Trying to get some distance so I can two-hand my sword, but he's pretty fast. Usually he doesn't go that far away from his spawn point. Okay. I missed him. Ooh. So that's a lucky thing about fighting these guys out in the world is you can hop on torrent right by him. It makes it a lot easier, just like we did with the tree sentinel. Oop. There we go. Sorry, I would have continued parrying him, but I ran out of health. So, hop on torrent so that you don't got to deal with that guy. Go ahead and just ride on by him. Whack him a whole bunch. And down over here, we're going to grab a set of grace inside of a catacombs. So we can come back later, finish the catacombs. But actually, the boss fight for this catacombs is one of the most unfair boss fights in the entire game. So we will not be doing this anytime soon. We got a few different Ashes of War and a couple of different summons that we need to get before we come in here and try to fight this boss fight, because it's just, yeah, it's wasn't really thought out well. It's basically you against 7 other enemies, so not a very fair fight, and it's not a very fun one either. It's actually very aggravating, but go ahead and grab the grace for now. Impaler's Catacombs. Probably one of my least favorite catacombs in the game. Go ahead and sit down to replenish our health and stuff like that. And we're going to come back on out and we're going to grab these mushrooms over here because they're very important. There's some herbos over here, correct? Oh no, St. Trina Lily. Definitely important. And that's the bridge that we crossed over here to get here because we're on the other side right here. So we go ahead and put a little sword here to let us know that we still have to fight that, but we went ahead and solved that puzzle. And then there's an NPC right here. We're going to go back to this merchant, and we're going to head up on in through here, and we're going to head over all the way down to here to meet another merchant that's going to sell us an item that will give us our light source for the game. And then the next episode, we will head north into Limgrave. We'll fight another boss, we'll fight a couple NPCs, and then we will head into Caelid, which is basically the land of the dragons. So to get where we're going, we're not going to go up this way because this way... Oh wait, no, yeah. Okay, so I'm not going to go up this way because this way will lead us to a town full of frenzy stuff that we will be getting some of our first incantations from that we use in the game. A pretty powerful frenzy spells, and frenzy does a lot of good fire damage. But we're not going that way just yet. And we're not here to explore everything. We're not here to, you know, do anybody's quests or anything like that. We're just grabbing graces, and we're traveling through to pick up any items that might be just available on the way. So there's some ruins and some graces down there, but we're not going to grab them yet. We're just going to come up here and grab this one. So this is where we are. We just went from there straight back here to this grace. There's some runes right here. We're going to pick up an item here, grab a grace here. There should be some ruins that we're going to grab a grace on. We're going to grab a grace down here. And then we will run down to this merchant, and we're going to take down our first Colosseum. Or no, I'm sorry, not Colosseum, Mausoleum. There's a pretty vicious demi-human dog right here. I recommend just running past him. He will tool you up. He's pretty strong for this point, as you can see. And he's really fast, and he has vicious, vicious fast combos, so stay away from him for now. He's stuck halfway on the bridge, not coming. These guys have a good halberd, so what they're swinging at us is the same weapon that... Matter of fact, let's go ahead and take them down. These guys have a really good halberd that scales pretty decently with faith and dexterity, I believe. So, might be better for the Confessor and the Prophet to use, at least until we get the strength to be able to use the halberd that the Tree Sentinel dropped us. But until then, you'll at least be able to have the halberd attack where you can do the double sweep that picks up enemies and tosses them into the air. That is the attack pattern for every halberd on Torrent, I believe. So come down over here. This guy's going to start spitting magic at us. Just ignore him, because what we're coming down here for is a crystal tier. Yep, it's down there. So go ahead and drop down here. Drop down here. And grab this tier. So this will boost our faith for, I believe, 3 minutes. I believe it boosts it by 5. So if we have 12 faith and we have a spell that we need, 17 faith to use the spell, if we drink this in our mixed physic, the crystal tier, then for about 3 minutes we will have the faith requirements that we need in order to use that spell. So very, very useful. Let's jump back up on the spring, take us back up here, which is where we took out these guys right here. So, and just in case if you were a little bit lost on where I just went, we were right here. We went straight down here, grabbed the tier, and then came back up to the spring and jumped back up, and now we're headed back up this road to the church. Some of the skeletons are brave. Okay, so this isn't a very safe church. There are skeletons walking around, and if they see you in the church, they will aggro and come towards you. It doesn't matter that you're in a church, see? So go ahead and just, remember, you have to hit them after they've already fallen apart, or else they will come back to life. So hit it one more time. And then after you hit them one more time, then they're gone for good. There are holy attacks and stuff in the game that prevent them from being able to be revived, but you don't have that yet, so don't worry about it. You come over here, there should be a pretty good shield, small shield. So it's the same as this one that I have on my back. It's just a different style. That's all it really is. It does, a little bit, maybe a little bit more damage negation, but you're not using small shields to block, you're using them to parry. So don't ever worry about, hey, do I got good block negation with this? because you don't want to block with these. You can, but it won't do you much good. These are strictly for parrying. So I'm going to put the turtle shield back on, so that way I have stamina recovery. But we'll come back in here, and as always, since it's a church, we got a sacred tier. And this one, we got some of these gold centipedes that we use for making items later. Let's grab those. Fortunately, the gold centipedes do not respawn, so they're one-time items in the game. Down there was just the flowers. Okay, so let's go grab this grace, and then we're gonna head down and check out a mausoleum. The mausoleum's not gonna make much sense right now because we don't have the items required to use them, but that's okay. We still could show you what they are, show you how to take them down, and yeah, we should have an option to talk to Melina in this church. Let's go ahead and use the sacred tier that we just found. Now we found that golden seed, but unfortunately we only have one, and we need 2 to get another flask, another healing flask. So once we get another golden seed, then it'll pop up for the option for us to add a charge to our flask. But let's go ahead and talk to Melina.
Spoken echoes of Queen Marika linger here as well. Shall I share them with you? In Marika's own words, then, after thy death, I will give back what I once claimed, return to the lands between, wage war, and brandish the Elden ring, grow strong in the face of death. Warriors of my lord, Lord Godfrey.
So, if you're paying close attention, she is putting together a story that Queen Marika, she's picking up words Queen Marika said when Queen Marika was in this church at one point. Let's go ahead and level up.
Shall I turn your runes to strength? Let my hand rest upon you. For but a moment, share them with me. Your thoughts.
This one's endurance.
Your ambitions.
And the next one's
the
strength.
principles you would follow.
Alright, now we're going to head south. We're going to skip everything that we see, because we're going to come back and do it all. What we're here for is just a couple of graces. So you can see there's one of those statues that leads you to a catacombs up there. Let's go ahead and come take out this poor turtle. Sorry. I know. Monster. Oops. My apologies, the catacombs are up on this cliff above us. So we're just going to grab the grace in the catacombs, and then we're just going to run back out. That's all we're doing here. We're just grabbing graces so that we can come back. Travel to here easier later. Yeah, it's over here. Ooh, cannot pass herbas. We need herbas to make pickled turtleneck meat. And that will basically be the haste in our game. Don't go up towards that Erd tree because there's a big boss up there that will beat us up. We see the jellyfish, which usually means there's a secret nearby, or a catacombs or something. If you see jellyfish, go start exploring around them. There's usually something good around them. Go ahead and grab the grace and run back up. Now, the mausoleums are for certain bosses in the game. There are bosses in the game that when you defeat them, they give you something called a shard. It's a shard of the Elden Ring, and it has certain powers. Remember, that's the square. Oops, sorry about that. That's the square that's right next to our health bar. Up in the corner, next to the green, blue, and red bar. And that square right there is where a shard goes. It's a shard of the Elden Ring that a shard bearer is holding on to. Once we defeat the shard bearer, We get their shard of the Elden Ring, and then we can turn it on. Now, with defeating a shard bearer, there also becomes... we also get an item called a remembrance. It's a remembrance of that shard bearer. And that remembrance is how we get the shard bearer's weapon or spell. They usually have an option for one or the other. So there's always two options when you get a remembrance. It's either going to be a spell or a weapon. Sometimes it's a talisman, sometimes it's an item. So if you have to pick one or the other. You can't pick both. So if you pick one, say you beat a boss and it offers you a spell that boss uses, and it offers you a weapon that boss uses, you can only pick one. But if you wanted to pick both, the way you would do that is by coming down to these mausoleums. Now this one is pretty simple and straightforward. If you are under its foot when it slams down, it will kill you. So you don't want to be anywhere near the slams, but you see these skulls. These skulls are how you take it down. You knock these skulls off of it, and it actually has an HP bar. And every time you hit a skull, its HP bar will start to lower. And then once it gets to 0 or gets to a certain point, it will stop moving around. So you have to be careful. You don't want to walk up next to a foot that's picking itself up and moving, because if it slams down on you, you will take severe damage. And if you're fully under the foot, it'll just straight kill you. But after you knock down a certain amount of skulls, this thing will stop moving, and it will bury itself in the ground. Nope, still, if it's lifting its foot up, but you still gotta knock off some more skulls. And you don't want to be under it when it starts to bury itself. Let's see if that was enough. Yep, there it is. So you don't want to be under it when it starts to bury itself, and you don't want to be anywhere near it, because it'll blow out a little AoE explosion. That little dust cloud right there would do damage and push you back. And now it's done. And it'll no longer ever get back up or move around. And so now I will show you what's inside real quick. Come up to these stairs, open it up. So say we beat a shard bearer boss and we picked its weapon, but it had a spell that we wanted. And we're like, oh man, that spell looks awesome. We come over here and examine remains. With Remembrance duplication menu, you can duplicate remembrances you've previously acquired. This includes remembrances from which you've already drawn out power. Duplication can only be performed once per mausoleum. So say you've beaten like 7 shard bearers, and you're like, man, that one shard bearer had a spell that I wanted. Then you come here, because you took his weapon already. You come here, it'll ask you which one you want to duplicate. You click the one that you want to, and then you can get the other option. You cannot get the same option. So if you picked a sword and you come back and duplicate the remembrance, you cannot get a second sword. The only way you can get a second sword from the boss is if you do New Game Plus. But you can get the other option. That's what these are for. It's not so you can get 2 of one thing. It's so you can pick the other option that you didn't get to pick. And there's only about 4 or 5 of these, maybe 6 in the game. And there's more shard bearers than there are mausoleums, and you only get one remembrance per mausoleum. And then after that, you have to go find another mausoleum, or you have to do New Game Plus. And so we'll show you where all the mausoleums in the game are and how to take each one down. And some of them are very, very vicious. Some of them are extremely terrifying and more of a pain in the butt than they're actually worth. But I'll showcase all of them for you. So, went down here, we grabbed that Grace right here. I need to go ahead and, go ahead and put a sword there to know that we gotta take it down. And there's some caves and stuff and some ruins over here, but we're not gonna go to there yet. This is just a Grace to get us down to these points over here. And then we got the Grace right here and a merchant that we're gonna buy something from, and why I didn't level up and spend all my runes, because we needed 2,500 runes, which we have. So we come here,
well,
and he's got a lot of good stuff, but we're gonna buy one thing.
It's been an age since I've seen a customer. How can I help here at the end of the earth?
This is what we want. Oh, it's 1,800. Cool. This is what we want. Unbelievably important, and why we came all the way out here, and why we've been putting off doing any dungeons. It's because we need this. This is the best light source, in my opinion, in the game. This is a very good colossal sword that we will be using a little bit. Highly recommend you buy it if you're looking for a big, heavy weapon that does extreme stagger damage. This does more than my greatsword. Now we're going to come back and buy all of this stuff. We want these leaves, we want these stones, we want these stone sword keys, and we want this lost ash of war. This lets us duplicate ashes of war later on so we can have more than one. But until then, I'm going to go ahead and dump the rest of what I got into arrows.
Have a safe journey.
And that is all that I want us to do for now. Actually, I'm going to end this episode by coming up over to this lake and picking up some gold fireflies, because that will allow us eventually to make gold pickled for foulfoots, which will help us with rune acquisition. And then I'm going to teleport over to the grace that we're going to be at the start of the next episode. So be careful right here, because there's some guards that are going to shoot arrows at you. As you can see, there's one right there. You can blow the horn. Now everybody's going to come chasing after you, but we're just going to run past them because they're protecting a fort up there. That fort is useless to us because it only has a teleport to a different place. We're going to come here, ignore the octopus, because we just want to get these gold fireflies. See these little gold sparklies over here? Oh, I forgot that there was a ball up here. It looked like it disappeared. It disappeared. Oh, it's just a healing ball, so yeah, go ahead and ignore that ball. It's just a healing ball. But those gold fireflies are what we want to pick up. And so I think I picked it all up. Oh, here's one. Okay, so pick up these, and then run for your life. So those with the four little foul feet that we've been picking up from taking down birds, we're going to be able to make gold pickled foulfoots with that, and that will help us get extra runes when we take down some hefty bosses that give us a lot of runes. So very, very useful. So grab those real quick, and then we'll come on down here till we're out of combat, and then once we're out of combat... Oh, you know what? I forgot there's a second church here. Let's go up to this church real quick and see if there's a sacred tier. I'm about 100% certain there's a sacred tier in here. Just run past all the guards. Run behind this. Yeah. So there should be... Yeah, grace right in here. But this church is a little different because there's actually some guards guiding it. Or guards guarding it out front. So you want to go around the side instead. And then come back through here, and there's a sacred tier and a site of grace. Let's go ahead and grab that. And then grab the grace. And so this is the church that we're at. So we still got some stuff to do. Got a boss right there. Got a cave right here. And ruins right here. And some more ruins right here. And then a beach to clear off. And then we got that campsite. We got a boss right here. Got a village right here. Got a cave right here. Oh, we got some ruins. Got a cave. Got to go through this forest and clear everything out. There's an item right here that we need to get. It's an incantation. We're just going to travel through here and pick up items. We got a boss right here. We got a boss right here. Got a castle we got to clear out right here. Swamp we got to clear out. Already fought that Onyx Lord. Then we got the catacombs. And then we have that boss right here. And then we got to fight this. Clear out this little camp. And there's a tower right here that we got to clear out. And that is everything in the Weeping Peninsula, which is what this southern part is called. But in the next episode, we're going to start at the gatefront, and we're going to work our way all the way through the northern part of Limgrave and into Caelid, the land of the dragons, and Rot. So let's go ahead and hop on over to gatefront. And I'm going to show you real quick why the lantern is so awesome. Because if we had a torch, in order to see with a torch, as you can see I'm two-handing this, I can't really have anything else in my other hand. But if I had a torch, I would have to put it in here. This is where torches go. So the torch would be like down here. And you can use it as a weapon, but overall it just takes up a slot in your hand. But now that we have the lantern, we can put this on our pouch, and we just open it up and click it, and it attaches to our belt, and now we have an awesome light source, and we don't have to utilize any of our hands that we want to save for weapons and shields and stuff like that. And so this light source will stay on until we click it off. And so now we can actually start going through caves and stuff and start actually fighting some bosses and getting some talismans and actually getting through some of the bulk of the game. But before we do that, we still got a little bit more traveling that we're going to do. So after we do that, then we'll go through and we'll start taking out all the caves. And then once we take out all the caves, you know, the entire area has been cleared out. So what we're going to do is when we go into a new area, we will go around and pick up items and we'll do little stuff that's just kind of on the map. And then once we're prepared, leveled up, got all the items that we need, got some goodies, leveled up our weapons, we'll actually go through and start wiping out all the caves and bosses. And then after that, we'll do the Legacy Dungeon, because each continent has a Legacy Dungeon on it. For this one, you know, down here we have a small Legacy Dungeon named Castle Morne, and then up here we have the big one, Castle Stormvale. So in the next one, we're going to travel up north and do some more stuff, meet some more NPCs. So that will do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for using my series, and hope I'm helping you guys out. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If I do not know the answer, I promise you I'll find you the answer. As you can tell, I'm not a big enough channel that, you know, your questions are going to get buried. I'm going to see everybody's questions. So please don't hesitate to ask me if you're confused on anything. If I haven't explained anything yet, it's just because we haven't gotten to it yet. There's so much information in this game that I don't want to overwhelm you guys. So if you're looking at other videos or you're hearing about other stuff from your friends and you're like, hey, what about this? Why haven't you gone over this yet? I promise we're going to go over it. We're going to go over everything in this game. There's nothing that's going to be left out. At the start of the next episode, I'll go ahead and read the items that we picked up. I think in future episodes, I'm going to start reading new items as we go along. But for now, I'm just going to start the next episode. I'll read whatever we picked up that we didn't have in the previous episode so that we can get some of the lore in. But aside from that, we are done for the day. So until next time, take care of yourselves, take care of each other, because you guys know I love you.